It's not just my story. It's about the story of so many dancers and so many artists. It's not just women, it's not just dancers, it's not just artists, it's not just artisans. It's about everybody who works and who put in their own life into that work itself. And not as commitment, not as dedication. I'm not talking about bhakti and I'm not talking about what we are generally told as dancers. We should be committed, we should be dedicated to the dance, and not even like that. Just their life forming the art that they perform. There is a cause, there is the feeling, there is an effect, and then there is the Abhinaya, the expression of the bhava, the emotion, and then the travel of this Abhinaya and the feeling to the audience, and the audience feeling the Rasa, this aesthetic experience. How much value do we give to that? One step as artists, one step from the audience, and we will take 50 steps to make you enjoy what we are dancing. One step. Turn the mobile phone off while dancing, and we will lead you to that rasa.
The world of Indian classical dance, few artists embody tradition and innovation as seamlessly as Dr. Yashoda. Her journey began with 14 years of rigorous training in Kuchipudi under Guru Shobha Naidu, but her calling led her deeper to reclaim the art of her own family by learning from Kalavantulu women, particularly Anabattula Mangatara Yaru, and Lira Sai, forgive me for the mispronunciations. A dancer, scholar, and yogini, Yashoda earned her doctoral degree for her pioneering research on the interrelationship between yoga and Indian classical dance. Her performances have graced every major national festival, and her choreography reflects both mastery and deep cultural consciousness. Beyond the stage, she has worked tirelessly with hereditary women dancers, exploring the social, historical, and aesthetic dimensions of the Devadasi repertoire. Her scholarship is equally remarkable. She authored Kaivalya, Joy in Yoga and Dance, co-translated and critically edited the 13th century text Nritya Naratnavali for the IGNCA and edited Keligopalam, preserving the handwritten notes of poet Maladi Ramakrishna Sastri that documented the wisdom of Kalavantulu women. Her influence extends globally from workshops in Russia to presenting papers and performances at conferences in Paris, Hyderabad, and the University of Pennsylvania. She has carried Indian dance traditions to international audiences. She has been an artist in residence at Wesleyan University, delivered distinguished lectures at the University of Hyderabad, and shared her insights at UCLA and IIT Hyderabad. Today, she serves as the chair of the Department of Kuchipudi at the University of Silicon Andhra, California, where she mentors graduate students in dance history, theory, and practice. Her contributions have been recognized with honors such as Bangalore Nagaratnama Awards 2017 and the Ugadi Puraskaram by the government of Andhra Pradesh. Please join me in warmly welcoming a dancer, scholar, and cultural custodian whose life is a testament to the power of art and knowledge, Dr. Yashoda Thakur, to share her insights on Jeevitam as performance explore Mezuvani tradition of Coastal Andhra. Welcome back, ma'am.
Thank you, Trishant. Thank you very much. That was very flattering too. And Vishwa Talks now feels like home, makes me comfortable. But this time, unlike every time that I was talking here, I have a written script, which is a little unlike me. So this is because as I kept working on this Jeevitam as performance, I started off on a very personal note, and then I thought this is getting deeper as I studied, and it's not just my story. It's about the story of so many dancers and so many artists. So it just kept expanding. The concentric circles kept increasing. So it's not just women, it's not just dancers, it's not just artists, it's not just artisans. It's about everybody who works and who put in their own life into that work itself. And not as commitment, not as dedication. I'm not talking about bhakti and I'm not talking about what we are generally told as dancers. We should be committed, we should be dedicated to the dance, and not even like that. Just their life forming the art that they perform. How much value do we give to that? Now, this is a little complex, and those who are not very familiar with the technical terms that we use in dance, it's absolutely fine. I'm going to break it down, and I will still use the terms, but I will just break it down a little bit and talk to you. Let's first address a few terms that I will repeat, one being rasa. Rasa is quite a used and sometimes even abused term. This rasa, the word rasa comes from food, taste, mainly. And it cannot be translated to English. People have tried across the world, but because it's an experience. So the translation is very difficult. Now, rasa is also something that the audience experiences. So in the Natya Shastra and the Abhinava Bharati through Abhinava Gupta, there is a lot that is spoken about rasa. There is a whole process. There is a cause, there is the feeling, there is an effect, and then there is the abhinaya, the expression of the bhava, the emotion, and then the travel of this abhinaya and the feeling to the audience, and the audience feeling the rasa, this aesthetic experience. Once they feel the aesthetic experience, the vibes come back to the artist, and then the artist gets even more involved in the emotion. Right now, I'm talking about the solo performance. Is the artist on her own agenda of her own moksha or her own Atma meeting Paramatma? No. Right now, we are talking about those artists for whom dance is livelihood, for who work through dance, right? It is not, they don't dance, they can't eat. We are talking about that kind of dances. Also, we are talking about that dance which is part of a certain life's practice. So during this season, there is this dance performed. During this occasion, there is this dance performed. Why? Because there is a certain vibe created, there is a certain harnessing of energies that take place during that particular occasion. And so we are dancing. So there is a kind of giving back to society, giving back to the larger purpose also that we are talking about. Now, when it comes to rasa, when Natya Shastra talks about rasa, or even Abhinava Gupta talks of rasa, actually Abhinava Gupta talks more about rasa than Bharata does in the Natya Shastra. There is this whole factory that is at work, right? There is a cause, there is a bhava, there is an effect, there is abhinaya, and then there is transfer, there is the emotion. But he spoke about all this with respect to drama, to, to what is called theater. So what is happening on stage is there is a story that's happening, not storytelling, but story being presented on stage. So the artists are all doing another character. They get into another character, what we call parakaya pravesha. So here there's some more jargon coming across. The parakaya pravesha, where the artist is getting into the body of that character and presenting that character convincingly. So we are doing this stepping out of ourselves, going into that character, completing the job there, and coming back to our own character. So here there is aharya, which means your costume. There is music. There is the effects that are happening. So everything is going on all at one time. Does this happen? So, and rasa is created. There is no doubt about it. I'll talk about Kuchipudi and I'll talk about the Kalavantulu, Mezuvani part of it, because I'm qualified to talk about this. If you are watching a yakshagana, Kuchipudi yakshagana, whether it's the music or even if they're dancing on bare land in Kuchipudi village, and they're creating, or Kathakali, Kudiyatam, they're creating this whole ambience. There is rasa created, no doubt about it, and they go back home. That is one scenario. Let's look at another scenario. Another word that I would like to define to you, and that is Mezuvani. Mezuvani, okay. We have to talk about the Devadasi. We spoke about it in almost every talk I did at Vishwa, but I will still talk. So Devadasi women, to make it very short and brief and short, is they were the unmarried women who were committed to the temple, the court, then the sabhas, and who were dancers, singers, and that was their life. Dance was part of their life. Dance was their life itself. So whether it was part of the ritual or part of the entertainment, that was their economy also, to put it very straight. Now, during the Zamindari period, there was something that the Mezuvani came across. Mez being a Persian term, that being the dining table, where you are hosting a guest. So here, she was an artist who was patronized by the Zamindar. And the Zamindar was very proud of this product that he was patronizing. So he would invite people and say, "You want to watch good Abhinaya? I have an artist. Come and watch." And people would actually travel across places and come to watch particular dancers. So that evening's performance, which was freewheeling, was called Mezuvani. Mezuvani. That's how it comes. And this is a very coastal Andhra specific prakriya antar kada. It's a Andhra specific activity. What happens in the Mezuvani? So as against the Natya, where the whole thing is choreographed, rehearsed, you learn the dialogues, and any improvisation which happens on the stage, but within that framework of the dialogue or what you're presenting there. But when it comes to the Mezuvani, there is no rehearsal. They sit there and then the audience asks. They say, "We want this padam." The first two songs are given where they do a salam darbo, where they are praising the patron and the audience. And the second one is the pure dance piece, a very small pure dance piece. This sets the stage. And then when it comes to the Abhinaya part of it, the dancer is asked to do something. They say, the audience says, now this is where the very important role of the audience also comes. The onus is not on the dancer alone. Now, my question is, are the audience educating themselves also? Are the audience also working towards being a good audience for the artist? So today is a day and age where we talk about footfall and eyeballs and, so we just want everybody, we want the numbers. Of the numbers, how many of them have done a homework? Their little homework. One step as artists, one step from the audience, and we will take 50 steps to make you enjoy what we are dancing. One step. Turn the mobile phone off while dancing, and we will lead you to that rasa. Anyway, coming back to Mezuvani and our Kalavantulu women who used to do this Mezuvani. So Kalavantulu and the Bhogam are the names that were given to the Devadasi women in the Telugu speaking areas. When they danced, they are not doing Parakaya Praveshan. They are not doing another drama. They're not doing somebody else's character. They're not doing borrowed emotions. To the extent, now I have to tell you, to the extent that they say, "Oh, that padam, I'm not good at it." పక్క వీధిలో ఆవిడ పొట్టెమ్మ ఉంటుంది, ఆవిడ బాగా చేస్తారు, ఆవిడ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళండి. There is పొట్టెమ్మ in the next street. She does this padam very well. She has owned it. Go there and you watch her do it. So the onus of doing everything ourselves was not there on the dancer herself. So I can read a little bit from my article because it gives instances. Maybe it's the performance was by Madhula Lakshmi Narayana in 1996 or I think 97 at Ravindra Bharati, where she performed the semi-theatrical genre of Golakalapam in the Kalavantulu style. She sang Brahmanulaite Serenuvedada, a crucial part of the performance with her ensemble, skillfully weaving metaphors, hand gestures, facial expressions, and voice intonations. Lakshmi Narayana's performance, which balanced humor, respect, and was a compelling portrayal of a Gollabhama or a cowherdess, guiding the Brahmin priest towards understanding the meaning and nuance of the rituals he performs, was something spectacular. Her portrayal of Golabhama was beyond convincing, with the native slang in speech and sarcasm, laced with respect in approach, natural gestures, and apt costume. So she did not try to Sanskritize anything. She did not try to stylize anything. She spoke about Ma Mukkamalo Koti Brahmacharulu. That kind of native jokes and native language were very, with lots of pride. Hari is here. Hari has done this Golakalapam with me. So he knows. Then I joined the scarce audience to be transported to the coastal Andhra region first, and then to an unknown space where Lakshmi Narayana was not different from me. I became one with her to go beyond the confines of the character, to feel I was the whole universe. There was a moment or moments of joy and ecstasy that made me wish to relive the performance time and again. This experience was not just a spectatorship, it was a transformation. I understood this was universalization and then ecstasy, which I experienced as a spectator or Sahridaya. I carry a whiff of this experience even today, as I have the liberty to as a spectator. So, in this talk, I'm placing myself as a spectator and as a performer. You will see me talk from both ends. Years later, in 2019, I performed the Golakalapam, of which the Brahmin priest was Hari. This time, I was the artist as I entered the character of Gollabhama, almost as if I entered another body, making the emotions, mannerisms, language, style, and even the spirit of Gollabhama my own. It came naturally because I come from the coastal Andhra region too. I was also aware of the joy roused in the spectators because the undercurrent of their joy traveled back to me, further intensifying my emotions. That day, I valued the power of a cohesive community. So when I say cohesive community, this is where all of you come in. My audience comes in. The same Ravindra Bharati wept and applauded as I, as Gondabhama, articulated the psyche of the fetus. However, I snapped out of the character of Gondabhama once the performance was over, and I re-entered my physical body, completing the formalities after the performance, paying the artist, removing the makeup, and meeting people. So I came back to my life.